Hello and welcome back to Shigai International. This is it, the final, not final episode. This is the final build episode, and then there's one more of the cinematic collection at the end with a few more bits put in there for good measure, along with a really cool little ending that I like, where I actually point out all the terminals and everything else for you. So yeah, this is the cargo terminal. Now I built this really far away. For some reason I thought I was going to do this big grand terminal, and I didn't. Because it wasn't needed. So I ended up moving this all back in later on. So you'll see me putting down all the pavement, all the concrete and everything else. And then it suddenly disappears. And that's because I moved the whole thing. So keep that in mind. But I had great fun doing this. I got to play about with a lot of PO here and doing some really cool stuff. Like with the plane hatches, you saw an open cinematic there. The DHL plane has the hatch open. That was so cool to do. I really enjoyed doing it. It looked amazing. I posted a teaser shot of that up on my Patreon a couple of weeks back, and people loved it. So yeah, I'm glad that happened. Now I'm just filling up these little areas here, and I spend way too much time on these, just trying to get the right color. Then I end up changing it and going for this nice grey, and I think, oh, that looks cool because it goes with this roof. Later on, I end up changing the entire front of this and decaling up with DHL symbols, because this is a DHL terminal. That's the planes that I've got coming in. That's the planes that will operate in Japan anyway. And you know, I've got their little offices here and everything else, so I just stuck with that. And yeah, that was quite fun too, to go in and actually change the look of a building by putting all this new front on it, new front to the whole area, and the decals. They just looked absolutely amazing, and the whole area looks really good, I think. Now I got to play about with a few things like the PO modules, and I actually got planes, I got planes on the mind. I'll be really glad when this is all over, because building an airport is tiring, but it looks cool, so you can't really argue too much, can you? Let's be fair. I got to play about with the PO modules there, and I used the like a crane going across the cargo units, which you'll see in a bit, and that actually moves back and forth, and it just looks so cool. I'm really happy with that. It's a little thing, but the little things I find in this game really help, especially with cinematics. And when people are looking around the city and they can see these little things moving, it just looks so cool. So I ended up putting down these really nice distribution center buildings because this is what I wanted in this terminal. I wanted it to be, you know, stuff's coming in, cargo, or mainly more things like post and deliveries and stuff, and they go into this terminal here and this distribution center, and it's distributed out without the city. Now they don't have a DHL version, so I go with the FedEx to start with. I didn't actually change this to DHL until a lot later on in the recording of the episode, which is a bit silly. So I end up making this completely FedExed, using their vehicles. As you can see, I put the signs up and everything else, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then I end up changing it to DHL, and I hit the workshop and download all the DHL assets I could find. So the signs, the flags, and everything, and it just looks so much cooler. I don't know why I did this. You know, you can see me doing this now. I'm using the runway markings to basically divide the area. I don't know why. For some reason I thought this would look really cool. It doesn't. It looks absolutely awful. So I ended up changing it for curbs and putting the grass in there as well. Now, I apologise now. I might as well do it now. Should have done it at the beginning, really. This is the 4th episode in a row I'm recording here. I'm really tired and, you know, my voice is starting to go. So I do apologise if I crack out every now and then or I say something incredibly stupid. But that's why you all come here, to listen to me make an ass of myself. But, you know, I don't really care, because it's fun and I enjoy it. I love making these videos. They're so much fun. I love doing these builds. It's so great. I'm going to be sad when Shigai ends, because it is coming up rather quickly for me anyway, not so much for yourself, because I've got a lot of stuff obviously recorded already to be edited and put up. So for you it's going to go on for quite a bit longer. For me it's going to end quite soon. But I have a really cool project coming up that I'm thinking of and what I want to do next. And I've also got, obviously, Project UK is slightly on hold while I just do this build, and then I've got more of that coming up. Judgment is almost done. Episode 1 and 2 are complete and uploaded and waiting. Episode 3 is in the works at the moment here. I'm trying to get as much done as I can before I go back to work on Monday. Well, I say Monday. It was a while ago for me. It was the 16th. I don't know when this episode will be airing to the public, so it's probably a while ago now, and I am back at work. But I'm trying to get as much done as I can before I go. Now, I love doing this because I get to play about with these decals, and they just really bring every area into life, really. You know, you put them down and you're just like, oh, they look horrible, but once they're done and, you know, you go in and you put some damage down and some more dirt and stuff, it just pops. And these decals are absolutely fantastic at doing that, and I couldn't build anything without them. I think they're amazing. You know, I've got a couple of important assets that I have to have. These decals are one of them. The other ones are the railings, because it's Japan and I love those Tokyo railings. So we use them quite a bit because they are everywhere. And, you know, and these parking spaces here that I'm using, these are my 3 must-have assets that I always have in every series. Now, the railings I don't always use in every series, but I have them because they're just amazing and I couldn't be without them. Okay, so this is it. This is when I got all the DHL assets, and you can see all those loaders that I'd filled up with those crates and everything else. I ended up deleting and replacing with the DHL boxes. And I just spend a bit of time now detailing up this area and making it look like, you know, this plane is now being unloaded, and it just looks so cool at the end of it. This is the screenshot I used at the beginning and I used in the thumbnail, and I've put it out there already on Discord. People loved it. It just looks so cool. It was really, really fun to do. The assets that I'm using now, which are these hatches, fit perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better one, but this was fun. Now I have to make it look like it's actually open. So what I ended up doing is I used one of those hatches, PO'd it into place, which took way longer than I thought it would. But that's mainly because of the shape of the actual model over the actual asset itself and the prop as well. So I had to get it to fit there, and then just darkened it to make it look like the hatch was open. Now it's very simple, very easy to do, but very effective. It does look like the hatch is open and then things are being unloaded from it. So I'm quite happy with that, and I think it's quite cool. I hope you like it. It took me a while to do, and I like those little details. Again, when I downloaded those DHL assets, I downloaded a lot more assets as well. Obviously the runway markings you saw, I used stuff like that, and some more stuff for the trains as well. I got rid of those vanilla trailers and replaced them with some really cool ones that I found on the workshop. I think they look quite nice. It's little things that I end up doing. I just end up going in and changing little things and getting rid of them. Now, I mentioned it a load of times in previous videos about changing everything for gravel. This is where I do it. So the gravel's going right up against the runways. Up here also all goes underneath the pathways that are being used for the lines. I love PO, and this is why. I really enjoyed making this. I'm going to use loads of different assets for this. This is a fuel tank for the trains coming in. So the trains can go through the actual building here, off to the side, fill up with fuel if they need it or anything like that. And I really enjoyed doing this. I used so many different assets and pipes, make a load of them really thin. You'll see me doing it now and try and find one. There are. I end up using these, separate them so I've only got one pole. I make it proper thin, so it's like wires going with the wheels and stuff. And I just loved doing this. This is such a fun build. This was so much cool to do. It was different. I've never really done anything like this before. I kept on thinking about it and then thinking, how can I do it? And then I remembered PO. I also remembered that I'd done things like this wheel for the Project UK build, and I'd made this, taken a wheel from the workshop already, made it custom, strained it up, changed the pivot axis so I can actually get it to spin. I forget to actually do that here because I'm an idiot, but it's not in motion all the time, is it? These are refueling units. They're just in motion when it's up and down and moving the thing out of the way. But I really enjoy doing this. This is so much fun. I go into a lot of detail with it. You start seeing things like the bolts going through the actual units, and yeah, I don't know what else to say, to be honest, because I love doing it. I do apologise for my voice. It's starting to go. I've been talking non-stop now for roughly about 2.5 to 3 hours, and yeah, my voice isn't designed to do that. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave you with the rest of the video. But before I do, thank you very much to everyone who is watching. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and a thumbs up, bell notification, all that great stuff. If you are a regular and you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And if you are a regular and subscribed, obviously like and comment, because I love to read it. And thank you very much to all my continued supporters on Patreon and people who have been dropping me random donations through my Buy Me a Coffee account. It's been greatly appreciated, and it's been absolutely amazing to see the support that I've been getting. Guys and girls, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the video. See you later. Bye bye.